How many diets have you tried? How many times have you lost weight only to gain it back? How many Monday mornings have you started fresh with a new plan, new rules, new restrictions, only to find yourself back where you started from a few months later? If you're anything like me, the answer is too many times to count. I spent years trapped in the diet cycle, losing weight, gaining it back, trying new plans, failing, trying again, until my mid-50s, when something unexpected happened. I stopped dieting, and I lost the weight. I'm Lynn Weimar, and today I want to share how I accidentally lost weight, not by focusing on weight, and what that taught me about food, control, and what we are really hungry for. For years, starting in my late 40s through mid-50s, I was trapped in the diet cycle. I'd start a new plan with so much hope, so much determination. This time would be different. I'd follow the rules, count the calories, measure the portions, avoid the bad foods, and it would work for a while. I'd lose some weight, feel good, and feel in control. And then something would happen. Stress, a hard day, just being too busy to care. And I'd eat, not because I was hungry, because I was trying to feel better. And then the shame would kick in. Here we go again. What could be so hard about this? And I'd gain the weight back, plus sometimes even a little more. Then I'd start the whole cycle all over again. New diet, new rules, same outcome. In my late 40s, during the hardest season of my life, divorce, single parenting my two youngest kids, barely surviving, the weight started creeping on. But I was too tired and too stressed out to care. But then something changed. Not a diet, not a meal plan, not a new set of rules. What changed was my mindset. I started doing mindset work, working on my thoughts, my beliefs, my emotional patterns. And as I did that work of learning what my body really needs, learning how to nourish my body with healthy food, instead of thinking of healthy food as a punishment, to care for myself in new ways, something unexpected happened. I started losing weight. I wasn't trying to. I wasn't dieting. I wasn't restricting, but the weight started coming off. And that's when I realized food was never the problem. Once I started viewing food as a way to love myself, care for and nourish my body, my whole attitude shifted. Because you can follow all the rules, but if you haven't addressed what you're really hungry for, if you haven't learned other ways to handle stress, emotion, emptiness, you'll always go back to food, and it won't be the healthy, nourishing food. It'll be the comfort food, the food your mind craves, not the food your body is really hungry for. So what did I do instead? I stopped focusing on the food. I stopped counting calories, measuring portions, following meal plans. Instead, I started asking different questions. What am I really hungry for right now? What emotion am I trying to avoid? What do I actually need in this moment? Sometimes the answer was, I'm stressed and I need to move my body. Sometimes it was, I'm lonely and I need to call a friend. Sometimes it was, I'm exhausted and I need to rest. Very rarely was the answer actually, I need food. And when I did eat, I made sure it was the food that truly nourished me, body, mind, and soul. I just ate like a normal human, without all the drama, and the weight came off. Not quickly, not dramatically, but steadily. And more importantly, it stayed off because I wasn't dieting. I was changing my relationship with food, with myself, with what I actually needed. So here's what I learned about weight and diets. For most of us, weight isn't a food problem. It's an emotion problem. We eat when we're stressed, when we're bored, when we're lonely, when we're avoiding something we don't want to feel. Food becomes the way we manage our inner world. And as long as that's true, diets won't work long term, because diets focus on what you eat, but they don't address why you eat. Think about it. You can have the perfect meal plan, but if you haven't learned how to handle stress without food, what happens when life gets hard? You can follow all the rules, but if you're using food to fill emotional emptiness, what happens when the loneliness shows up? The diet might work for a while. You might lose weight, but you'll gain it back because you haven't addressed the real issue. So let me ask you, are you using food for something other than nourishment? Are you eating to manage stress, emotions, boredom, emptiness? Here's what I want you to try. First, stop making food a moral issue. Food isn't good or bad. You're not good or bad based on what you eat. Food is just food. Let go of the shame. Then start asking, what am I really hungry for? Before you eat, pause and ask yourself, am I really physically hungry, or am I trying to feel better? Avoid something, fill emptiness? If it's not physical hunger, what do you actually need? And third, learn other ways to meet your needs. If you're stressed, you need stress management, not food. If you're lonely, you need connection, not food. If you're bored, you need engagement, not food. This isn't about willpower. It's not about being strong enough to resist food. It's about learning what you actually need and giving yourself that instead of using food as a substitute. When I stopped dieting and started addressing what I was really hungry for, the weight came off naturally. And it stayed off because I wasn't white-knuckling through another restrictive plan. I was actually taking care of myself. That's the difference. I lost weight by accident, not by focusing on weight, by doing mindset work, by learning to care for myself, by addressing what I was really hungry for. And that weight has stayed off, not because I'm following rules, but because I changed my relationship with food and with myself. If you're stuck in the diet cycle, losing and gaining, trying and failing, maybe it's time to stop focusing on the food and start asking, what am I really hungry for? The answer might surprise you, and it might change everything. If this resonated, hit that subscribe button, and I'd love to hear from you. What are you really hungry for? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're ready to start taking action, not just mentally, but physically too, grab my free guide, 3 Secrets to Being Fit Beyond 50. It's in the description below. I'll show you how to build the strength and preparation you need from the inside out, because that's where real transformation happens. Also, come join our free community, Be Fit Beyond 50, where I go live every Wednesday with more encouragement and practical tools to help you get where you want to be beyond 50. I'm Lynn Weimar. It's not about the food. See you in the next video.